Hi, this is Debbie Nicholson, and you can see that I've decided to make a lot of videos today because I'm still in the same clothes. And there was a time when I was doing videos and I would change my outfit every 5 seconds just to do another video. And then I thought I'm not going to do that because people need to hear what I've got to say today. And while I've got the chance, I thought I should tell you a few things. Now, I have been through a serious depression. I've had chronic depression most of my life. When I was 40, it surfaced. When my children left home, I felt redundant. And what did I do? I went down the service station. I walked all the way down to the service station. Well, actually, I'd drive if I had the car. And I would, because we lived on a big hill and there was a service station at the bottom of our hill. And I used to go down there and spend any money that I could find in the house and buy Mellow Puff biscuits, which are chocolate. And I would buy cakes of chocolate. You shouldn't really shop at a service station because everything's so expensive. But I was feeling too depressed to drive all the way to the supermarket, and so that's what I would do. And the next day I'd do it again, and I'd come home and I'd sit on the couch and just eat and eat and eat and eat. And this was only because my children had left home. One had gone off to a boarding school. The other one decided that she didn't want to live with us anymore, so she went off to live with her dad, which is fair enough. And the other one followed the other one off to school as well, and so suddenly I had no children at home. And up until then, I'd been a mother. I had been a working mother. I had worked very hard, but I didn't think they were going to leave me so soon. I mean, they were only young. I thought they were only young, but they're not young. One was 12 and one was 16, and one was older than that even. And so they don't even know that I went through that when they left home. I've never ever told them. They've just thought, oh, Mum's just a bit potty today, Mum is not feeling well, and so they think, oh, well, Mum needs attention, Mum wants attention, Mum needs her pills. They don't realise what the triggers are in life for depression. And when I was 40, a trigger happened, and so I went through this great stage of a terrible depression. And when I was treated by the doctors, they said it was due to my childhood. I'd had a pretty rough childhood, actually. My mum and dad split up when I was 5, and I then had to live with another mother, and because my dad got custody of me and my sister, and it was a very, very sad time in my life. But it wasn't until I look back in my life now I realise that I probably learned some lessons from it all. But when you're a little kid going through all that, it's not nice, and it leaves impressions on you that you don't even know that you've got these impressions about. And so when I was 40, it all came out of me. And the doctor said, had I had any other periods in my life like this? And I thought, well, yes, after I had my children, I had postnatal depression. Well, in those days, people didn't believe you because they had never known about it. Nobody knew much about postnatal depression when I was having my kids. And so my in-law family, who I was a wee bit estranged from, they used to pick on me, and they used to tell me I was just being silly, and honestly I wasn't. I was being very serious because depression's not a good thing to go through, and if there's no one around to support you, well, it doesn't help you at all in your situation. And then another time, I remember when my first husband and I did split up eventually, I did have a major depression then. But at the time you don't realise you're doing these things. I went off to the doctors, and they gave me some wonderful pills that gave me such energy. I was getting up all hours of the night to do the housework and get things ready, and I didn't need any sleep, and I don't know what I was on then. I keep trying to remember. I think it was called Valium or something like that, and so that wasn't very nice to go to have either, because when I think about it now, I was just putting more poison in my system, and actually it was putting me on a high, but it did take the depression feelings away, so that's great. And then, of course, when I had my children leave home, they use on something called Prozac, and so that's just as bad, really. And so I was on that for 6 years. Can you imagine? 6 years. I never actually ended up in the mental home. My sister did when she was 21, but I didn't. I don't know if that was fortunate or not. Unfortunately, she may have got better treatment than I did, because I just used to keep things inside myself. So, I mean, talking to you girls out there, and probably some men, that, it's okay to go through life like this. It's okay to start telling people that you've had this sort of thing happen, because there's a lot of us out there, a lot of us. Now, I have managed to get through all this now without medication, and several years later, it's taken me to get rid of medication. I'm 6 years on medication. That's not good, and I can tell you in another video how I got rid of that. But since then, I've had another bout of depression when we downsized from a house to where we live now in our mobile home. I wasn't really happy about it. I didn't want to not have my things around me. I went from crystal to melamine, and I went from 5 and 6 bedroom house to a corridor, and these things played on my mind, and so I went through another depression. And I'd also not had a very good business offline at the time, and all these things mounted into my mindset. So I just wanted to talk to you today about that, because there might be somebody out there who wants to know about these things, to look at Debbie Nicholson and think, man, I would never have thought she was like that. But I tell you what, I was. So just keep watching my videos, because every now and again I'll pop up with something else that I'd like to share with you about my life, so that maybe you can relate to things that I've done and things that I'm going through, and maybe you can think, well, life's not so bad after all, and maybe I can get through it as well. Okay, so I'll talk to you again in another video.